So, planning to set up something known as Goshala Mandir Vidyalaya. Right? So, this is Radha Kalachandji, DT in Dallas. We have a lot of opportunity because a lot of Americans are declaring bankruptcies. They're unable to run farms and they're selling the farms, land. Most of them want to write C++ or Java code. So nobody's taking care of the farms. And then there is a danger that there'll be a food issue 15, 20 years down the road. Because if insufficient food is grown, then there won't be food to eat. So somebody's got to fill the gap. So Srila Prabhupada said, a man is considered to be a rich man if he has sufficient quantity of grains in his possession, sufficient number of cows. There is no such thing as a bank, nor paper money. What they possess was foodstuffs and milk, and this is economic solution. If you have got sufficient milk, you can make so much nice, nutritious, full of vitamin preparations. There's no question of economic starvation if you have enough grains and cows. And then Bhakti Raghava Swami, he says, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai about goal of life, Ramananda Rai described in different ways, right? And then finally they come to the conclusion, one must try to inquire about the life's goal. Atato Brahma Jignasa means what is the goal of life? That is the proper utilization of human form. Because dogs and cats cannot inquire, birds cannot inquire, but humans can inquire, right? And if we don't try to get out of the clutches of Maya, then we are forced to descend to lower species. So we may be born as a rat or a cat or a crocodile in our next life. As said in Bhagavad Gita 3:27, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. So being completely under the grip of material nature, we must again evolve from the lower species to higher species and finally come back to human life. And again, all you did was to come back to where you are today. From here, you have to again go up. You have to get the Devata body. Finally, you have to get liberated. So if we screw up, if we make small mistakes, we'll go down into lower species. So we have to work our way up again. So human form of life should not endeavor for unnecessary necessities, right? But should have a very simple life and maintaining the body and soul together. When we were in India, we had a simple life, but now we came to America, we have air conditioning, 2 cars, big house, so many unnecessary things we have. So instead of going up to becoming a Devata, we are in material clutches and we may go to lower species. We may not even become a human in our next life. That is the danger. Danger of good luxury is you luxuriously become an animal in the next life. So real problem is to get from bondage of birth, death, old age and disease. So not inventing unnecessary necessities is the basic principle of Vedic civilization. And inventing unnecessary necessities is the principle of Western civilization, right? Nobody asked Elon Musk to create an electric car, but he created it. Nobody asked somebody to create a Intel chip, but they created it because that is the principle of Western civilization. But Vedic civilization is not inventing. You can invent. It's not like you don't have the brain. Indians have a pretty good brain. Americans have a pretty good brain. Anybody and their brother can invent. But the unnecessary necessities will sidetrack you, right? So right now it is good that you are coming to this class and hearing something. But once again, going to office tomorrow, again we'll be dragged into unnecessary necessities. So we have to be cognizant of this principle. So one should be satisfied with whatever means of life comes automatically. You'll get automatically. Why? Because of your past karma. Some will be rich, some will be poor, but everybody will be given their daily bread by God. Very rarely you will see people starving to death. Once in a while it happens in Somalia. Again, that is due to some past mistakes that they did. So here are some farms around the world, Ukraine. Both are first and second are in Ukraine. Nova Varsana, it is like New Varsana. Varsana is a place near Vrindavan. So they named their farm Nova Varsana. Then Govardhan is a place in India. I have done parikrama many times, 6 times, maybe 6 times. So now they have new Govardhan in the west, right? They grow their own vegetables and feed the cows. Don't slaughter the cows. Some more here. This is in Hebri in Karnataka. Sahyadri Sri Krishna Balarama Kshetra. Did you go there, Sheshdev? Then there is Gita.
Where, Prabhuji?
Hebri. It's in Karnataka. Okay, anyways. So Gita Nagari, which is in America. This is, I've been to Gita Nagari. I've not been to Hebri. Gita Nagari is in Pennsylvania. From Philadelphia, I have to drive like 4 hours north. Then New Kukla village in Australia, like this. And then elements of a good Varnashrama project from Bhaktivika Swami. You need to have spiritual leaders, team of 3 grihasthas who are committed to move to the farm, have spirit of cooperation, able bodies, teachers, doctors, others will come later, but initially you need physical work. You need land, some buildings for people to live, right? You should not be too close to the city so that people are allured by the city life in the farm community. But you should be fairly close to the city so that others can come and learn the Krishna consciousness from you. And later on, establish a Gurukul, Goraksha, weaving, spinning, all these things will come other later, right? Usually we think land is outside the cities. No, cities grow around good land. Wherever there is good food, people want to flock there. So here is Bhaktivika Swami, my spiritual master. He is based out of Salem part of the year and in Gujarat part of the year, like that. And he travels around the world to preach before Corona. So he sent me a mail saying, "Dear Gardika Gopinath Prabhu, please get this land." So that's what I did. I got the land. This is the land that I got. This is the land in Google Maps. So there are some natural ponds in this land. One that I'm calling Sham Kund, the one I'm calling Radha Kund. One is Kusum Sarovar. So we can do some farming here, devotee quarters, and hopefully a temple later. Hopefully. So how? Yeah. This is in Wolf City, Texas, not here in Seattle area.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately, we all have to go to farms because this mechanistic civilization is coming to an end. All the civilization that you are seeing right now is only 40 years old, believe it or not. The Department of Defense started this ARPANET, from their internet came, Intel chips got made, and from chips and internet, we are doing so much trading like Amazon. But all this is only 40 years old. So don't think this is like very old civilization that we are living in. Egyptians, their pyramids are there, they are dead. And pyramids are getting looted. Rome is now in ruins. So what we have right now in Seattle will also be in ruins 40 years from now. The civilization is not long lasting. Let me put it that way. So housing, there are various options. Mud houses, not suited for tornado. Cinder blocks, get hot. Wood is expensive. Regular houses, 80 to 100 per square foot. I'm researching for a lot of days how much it costs. You can make your own interlocking bricks. We ordered a machine from China and you can make your own bricks, right? Grow your own bamboo in 5 to 7 years. There is a website called thevedicway.org. You can see how to make your own bamboo home. Tiny home movement. Right now, people are moving from big homes to tiny homes. For 40K, you can build your own home. Budget home kits, steel homes. So this is my handwriting. You can have a sitting area, a sleeping area, just 15 feet by 15 feet. Bathroom will be outside and your potty will be outside. It's called compost toilets. Because the idea is, if you put water on your stool and then that goes and messes up with the groundwater. I did a course at University of Washington, an entire course on how your stool contaminates groundwater. Right? So stool should never be put in water. All our Western style toilets, right, where you poop in water, that is very bad. You should poop on the ground and then put some ash on it, and then it naturally decomposes, it becomes fertilizer. So composting toilet is one other trend in America. Go to Amazon, $320, you can get a composting toilet, right? And then all that becomes fertilizer later. Yeah, and bathroom should never be in your home according to Vastu. It should be outside your home. And toilet should be far away from home so that your home doesn't get contaminated. When you poop in your home, what do? All this smell, stink stays, right? Even with the exhaust fan. So I was thinking like, putting these unit one next to each other. So roughly $100 per square foot. So if I have 10 devotee quarters, that will cost about 15 by 15 is 225 square foot, times 10 is 20 to 50 square foot. So I'll have to shell out 2.25, 225K, right? So off the grid, right? No electricity. If you don't have electricity, half the problems in this world are solved. Why? Because you'll sleep early and you'll wake up early. Like my grandfather used to sleep at 6:30, 7 o'clock. I remember I used to go to his home, eat food around 6 o'clock, 6:30, he would put beds out and he would sleep. And as a consequence, you'll wake up at 4. And you still need some electricity, right, for charging mobile and laptop, for communicating with the world, but not on a daily basis. And then if you get the water from borewell in buckets, take it to your bathroom and to your potty room, no buckets, right? You basically take one lota to just wash your backside. That's about it. Everything else will become fertilizer. This is the most foolish thing, like this sewage, right? We create so much sewage. If you go to any sewage treatment plant, I've been there, it stinks so much. But whereas if you leave it on the earth, it will automatically decompose. So yeah, there are so many scientific reasons for living naturally on the land, right? So if you come back to the map, right? So devotee quarters, you don't need such a large area because these are all very small things. These are not to scale. So you have home kits like 36, 37K, you can get home like this, steel homes. And lime, yeah, building with lime is very good because all of your Golconda Fort, Red Fort, all these things are built with stone and limestone, lime. So what lime, it ages, as it ages, it becomes stronger, right? Cement deteriorates with age, lime becomes stronger with age. It comes from stone and people have been using since Roman Empire time. Egyptian buildings were made out of lime, so it's very strong. And now they are making artificial limestones, hempcrete, various things in America. And then there is hydrated lime, quick lime versus hydrated lime. There are some pros and cons, but building with lime will keep your building longer. It's more workable. Sand and cement do not separate if you have lime. It's a very good glue, even if you have cement buildings. So soil and crop sustainability on this plot, we have a lot of silt loam followed by Houston black clay. So you see that in silt loam, you can grow a lot of cotton, sorghum, wheat. In Houston black clay, you can grow cotton #1, but you can also grow some wheat and oats like that. Security. So how do you live on the farm? You put a big Lone Star flag of Texas. You claim to be a Texan, never claim to be a foreigner. And then you post a sign, I have a gun and will shoot. And then go to a firing range and train. I might also get some gun training at some point, how to fire a gun. Because in Kali Yuga, people will shoot at you, so you have to shoot back. And then put a sign like smile, you are being video monitored. You have a relationship with local police, move in groups, do not display religious symbols. So community building, all 4 varnas, chatur varnam ayashishtam gunakarma vibhagasaha tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram abhyayam. So there are 4 varnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But they have to cooperate to work with the Lord. Atah pumbya dvida shrestha varnashrama vibhagasah swanutishtasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Right? Highest perfection one can achieve is to discharge his prescribed duties according to the caste divisions and orders of life. To do what? To please the personality of Godhead. What happens if a Shudra pretends to be a Brahmana? Like, during Ambedkar's time, people said, oh, yeah, why are you only letting Brahmanas? You ask Shudras also to come to temple. Then they said, okay. Government said, okay. Tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock, you wake up, take bath, and come and do Mangalarti for the Lord. Nobody showed up. Because the qualities are different, right? Brahmanas wake up early, sleep early. Shudras don't wake up early because their bodily constitution is not, their guna and karma are not aligned. And what if you ask a Shudra to go to the border and fight with the Pakistanis? Nobody's going to fight. You need the Kshatriya quality. That's why Krishna says, guna, karma, vibhagasa. Actually, in Kali Yuga, there are no Brahmanas left. Everybody is a Shudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Because nobody is doing what they're supposed to do. Brahmana should not work for anybody. But you see, Microsoft, Amazon are full of Brahmins. Because they're intelligent, they're using their intelligence to write code. Instead of writing Shastra and and I'm better than them in certain ways. At least I'm able to recite these slokas. Right? So, this is called upward mobility. A Shudra can become a Vaishya, Vaishya can become a Kshatriya if he develops the quality, he or she. If you don't develop the quality and artificially you fight for equality, it's foolishness. So just like this Ambedkar's case, the Shudras didn't show up for the temple service. Because who's going to wake up 3:30, take a bath and come 4 o'clock to open the temple door and do Aarti? Right? They don't have that intellectual capacity. Vast majority don't have that actually. And vast majority don't have Kshatriya mentality either to fight. So on a farm, we can grow brahmacharis to train them into this varnashrama. Right? Srila Prabhupada says we don't want to train them to be big grammarians. General training is that he must be a devotee, a pure devotee of Krishna. That's it. And from very beginning, they should be trained up. This is from the Badrika Ashram in Haryana. One of my Guru Bhai, God brother, he is training brahmacharis. It's not so easy. He himself is a brahmachari. Here are some of our book distributors who gave a book to one African American gentleman. So he said, a lot of my people are brainwashed and trapped mentally. The Sanatan Dharma would free my people from mental suffering. So because somebody gave a book to this African American, he is understanding the value. But if everybody sits at their home and don't train other people, then how will the general population benefit, right? So that's the goal. We have to train other people. So how do you onboard? The devotee should be in good standing, chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day, following the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Then there'll be ongoing training. In general, life should be guided. Without guidance, life will fall apart. So we should take scriptural guidance. Balaji ki jai, Radha Nilamado Bhagwan ki jai. So any questions on this one, on the farm plan